Alright, now we're going to take what we just learned and start our second project where we can apply those lessons a bit more in depth and get a little bit more technical with them. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a flashcard studying application. So this is what it's going to look like. This is going to be your home screen, and you notice our URL at the top. Remember how we did the URL regular expression parsing? So here's what a user is going to enter and come to our site, and they're going to be greeted with this page. We're going to have a nav bar up at the top. We're going to have this little header that says welcome, and we're going to have a button here that they can click on called View Flashcards. So when you click on this, it's going to take us to our next page. Notice the URL up here changed. It no longer says the localhost 8000 ustudy. Now it says flashcard list. We still have the same banner, or the same nav bar, and now we have a little header telling them what to do to get started. And then we're going to have buttons for each one of our set of flashcards that someone can study. And again, we click on these, and now we're going to get to this screen. Again, you can look at the URL. It's flashcard list, and now we have a URL parameter. We're going to use the request get methods to get access to this parameter and do stuff with it. You'll become much more familiar with that. We still have our nav bar. We now have the title of the flashcard set, and then notice each flashcard is going to have a front and a back, obviously. So we have the front displayed here, and it says what is a string. If you were to click on this, it's going to flip it over to the back and give you the answer. And again, you'll be able to click on this and flip it back to the front, back and forth. You also have these icons down here to get the next card, to get the previous card, or to grab a random card out of the deck. And that's really it. 4 pages or so, and it's going to be pretty fun to build. So real quick, what our directory structure is going to look like is just right here. So in my workspace, whatever you want to have your very outer level container for all your project work, I'm using a directory called workspace and Django, which is in my desktop. We're going to make a directory called SecondProject, and that's going to be the project's root level directory, the one where the manage.py lives. Inside of there, we're going to have a new directory called ustudy, which is going to have this is going to be what's called the packages root level directory. Notice this init.py with those two underscores, followed by init, followed by 2 underscores .py. That tells Python that this is a Python module. Notice this one isn't. This isn't a Python module. It doesn't have the init.py, but this ustudy one is. So again, manage.py is going to be our root level directory, project's root level directory. Ustudy is going to be our package, our module package root level directory. And finally, a quick little breakdown on the models or the database that we're going to use. So look like this. We're going to have 2 models, 2 database columns, 2 models. And one's going to be called deck, and that's going to be your standard collection of flashcards. All right, so really what does a deck have? This just has a title. Are we going to be, let's see, right here, are we going to, having trouble dragging this, okay. So are we going to be studying from the Python data structures deck, or maybe from the programming interview deck? How about maybe final exam review deck? So in each one of these decks is a container that has a bunch of other cards inside of it. They really only have a title as a field. And each one of those decks has 0 to many cards. And each card is going to have a deck that it belongs to. And then it's going to have a front and a back. So that's a very simple breakdown of our first app and our first model. If you want to know what software I'm using to do these mock-ups right here, because I highly recommend you plan everything out as much as possible before you start coding. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. This is called Balsamiq. Just a second, let me open it up in another window here. And here's their website, Balsamiq. They do have a free 30-day free trial. Other than that, I think it's like $60 or $70. It's kind of expensive, but the free 30-day trial gives you access to all the features as a paid trial, so I highly recommend it. It's an extremely easy to use software. And then these drawings are just simply done in the Google Drive. I just create a new drawing and then select some, shapes in here and do everything right there. But definitely try to plan out your app as much as possible, and in the next video we will start building this.